newspaper. Labor in showdown with 4 states over minimum wage. That's the big story there. CBN likely to raise interest rate to halt inflation. Nigeria, Brazil pact to boost agric in 774 councils. To the blueprint now, still on the minimum wage, as the hike will further strain Nigeria's fiscal imbalance. That's according to experts who go on to say it must be matched by corresponding revenue growth. Cut down in cost of governance the way to go. FG to 332 directors. Use your promotion to drive civil service reforms. Still on the tax reform bills there, a representative says this will be passed by the National Assembly. Platform Times says Nigeria saves 20 billion naira from subsidy removal, naira float policies. That's President Tinubu at the G20 Rio Summit in Brazil. NDLEA arrests businessman at Enugu Airport for ingesting 90 wraps of cocaine. The Daily Times says Nigerian government saves $20 billion by ending fuel subsidies. Petrol prices to drop as refinery cuts cost. Clark to Tinubu try Buhari Malami for humiliating ex-CJN on Ogun. Silent Times now. Nigeria saved $20 billion from subsidy removal, naira float policies, says Edom. Suspected cultist kill man a day to his wedding in Delta State. Bishop Kuka says Tinubu Buhari part of Nigeria's accidental leadership cycle. Teachers to boycott Oyo Community School over attack on colleagues. All right, that's that for Silent Times. The Punch now. Reps may clash over Tinubu's $2.2 billion fresh loan on Tuesday, as a minority caucus warns that the loan is an extra burden on government. But deputy spokesperson is quoted as saying we will approve loan and ensure it's not diverted. PDP governors, 24 state chairmen plotting to keep Damagum, says representatives. Finally, with me is Nigerian News Direct. Tax reform bills benefits exceed Northern Group's concern, says Honorable Jibrin, calls for negotiation, further consultations. NIMC DG accepts News Direct award. Okay, that's one there. And why payments for customers with deposits above 5 million naira are delayed. The NDIC Deposit Insurance Commission gives reasons. Theophilus.
The Daily Trust newspaper, it says presidency lobbies National Assembly over tax reform bills, proposed laws meant for good governance, says Boala. Dangote Refinery reduces petrol price to 9.70 naira per litre. Fact check: how senators misinterpreted constitution to endorse CCT chair's removal. Senator Barrow equips Kano Police Command with 1,000 motorcycles. This Nigeria says here, probe missing 57 billion naira in Humanitarian Affairs Ministry. Serap tells Tinubu. Okwebolo probes Obaseki over Edo assets liabilities. List of FCTA landowners' outstanding payment of C&O bills in all districts on page 7 to 115. Nigeria, Brazil sign MOU to boost agribusiness in 774 local government areas. The Hope newspaper concerns as church attendance, tithes, offerings decline. Christian clerics react, deferring on tight compromise. Churches scaled down activities, reduced charity efforts, says investigation. Amotekun rescues 60-year-old Ekiti farmer arrests kidnappers. Teaching tech in Yoruba breaks education barriers. Tinubu not accidental leader. Presidency replies Bishop Kuka. Upehulu appoints 14-member panel to probe Obaseki. Leadership newspaper says NNPCL Dangote retailers agree to end fuel supply crisis. Tinubu Buhari part of accidental leadership cycle, says Kuka. Experts differ over safety of GMO foods, their resistance to pests, collateral damage to health, says Professor Amalu. They improve yield, provide needed nutrients, Dr. Gidado says. GMO foods are safe, federal government insists. Daily Independent says experts warn of businesses in Nigeria collecting payments in dollars. Tax federal government to prevent dollar dominating country's economy. worried foreign airlines violating BASA arrangements, asks federal government to enforce CBN Act that criminalizes refusal of Naira. Telcos rule losses of 70 million subscribers in 9 months face bleak future in dilemma over NCC refusal to approve tariff hike. National economy says endless grid failure. Stakeholders push for decentralized grid system. Why Nigeria should pass labor standards bill. Low-tech adoption at seaports threatens operational efficiency, transparency. Business AM says analysts warn of financial fallout as Senate approves Tinubu's $2.2 billion loan. Nigeria debt to GDP ratio of over 50%, harbinger of distress, says LCCI. CSO talks federal government on fiscal discipline, self-reliance. The Guardian says MPC's imminent rate hike jolts firms amid inflation survival concerns. All Nigerian presidents were unprepared except Tinubu, says Kuka. Dangote cuts petrol price to 970 naira for marketers. Ipman takes cue. We saved $20 billion from subsidy removal, forex floating, says Edun. The Nature News says COP29 $300 billion climate finance deal falls short, disappoints the world. GMOs, NBMA fires back at critics. COP29 wealthy nations golden intervention in climate finance. Nigeria, Brazil handshake on agricultural modernization. Finally, on Sporting Life newspaper, it says Bodrum FK 0, Galatasaray 1, dilemma. Osimhen was exceptional rather. Says everyone was egoistic except the Nigerian. Martin hopes on our choose injury not serious. Police declares support for Eguavon, says talks difficult, not impossible. Moyes could make Everton return. Manchester United targets Mendes. Guardiola ready to concede title. Of course, we have that and many more in the Sporting Life newspaper this morning.
All right.